Welcome, my friend. Take a deep breath. Let the noise of your day slowly fade away. You are here to rest and to travel softly through time. Tonight we'll wander far back, more than 3,000 years, to the golden lands beside the Nile River, a place where tall palm trees sway in the warm breeze, where the river flows like a silver ribbon beneath a quiet sky, and where life followed the gentle rhythm of the sun and the seasons. This is ancient Egypt, a world of sunlight, sand, and slow, graceful living. As you settle in, close your eyes and picture the river's edge. The first light of morning glows across the horizon, painting the mud, brick houses in soft gold. You can almost hear the faint splash of water as a fisherman casts his net, and the gentle hum of life begins again. The air smells of reeds and fresh bread baking in clay ovens. A donkey brays somewhere nearby. A woman hums as she grinds grain. Children laugh as they chase one another through narrow streets. Everything moves at its own calm pace, steady, unhurried, like the river itself. In this journey, we won't rush. We'll move slowly, gently, through the daily rhythms of people who lived thousands of years ago. People who loved, worked, prayed, and dreamed, just as we do. We'll wake with the farmers in the soft light of dawn. We'll sit beside the hearth as meals are prepared. We'll visit the scribes, the craftsmen, and the families resting beneath cool roofs after long days of sun. We'll stand quietly in temples where incense drifts through shafts of light and priests whisper ancient prayers. Every part of this story will unfold like a dream, steady, warm, and peaceful. So let your shoulders relax. Let your breathing grow slower, deeper. You don't need to remember dates or names. You don't need to think about history as facts tonight. Instead, think of it as a bedtime story, one that floats gently through time, carrying you down the Nile, past the villages, the markets, the fields, and into the hearts of people who once called this place home. As the night grows still, let us begin our quiet journey. Our first stop, the dawn of a new day in ancient Egypt. The sky above the Nile begins to lighten, shifting slowly from deep blue to soft gold. The air is cool, almost tender, and the first rays of sunlight stretch across the quiet fields. Imagine you are there in a small village along the riverbank. The homes are simple, made of mud bricks, smooth and pale from the sun. Inside it's still dim, but a faint light creeps through the doorway. A farmer rises before dawn. He stretches his arms, listens to the quiet call of birds, and steps out into the cool morning air. The world is peaceful now, before the heat, before the noise. Nearby, his wife kneels beside a small fire pit. She grinds grain on a flat stone, pressing it back and forth in slow, steady motions. The sound is rhythmic, calming, the sound of daily life awakening. You can almost smell the bread as it begins to bake, simple, warm, and fragrant. A clay jar holds water drawn from the river. It is cool to the touch, and when she pours it, you can hear the soft trickle echo in the morning silence. Children stir on mats of woven reeds. Their eyes blink open, faces half hidden in linen cloths. They rub their eyes and giggle quietly, watching their mother prepare breakfast. As the sun rises higher, the village comes alive. A neighbor greets another with a small nod. Donkeys bray as they're led toward the fields. The sound of footsteps crunches over the dry earth. The Nile glimmers nearby, a line of light cutting through the golden land. Men untie small boats ready to cast nets or ferry goods across the water. They speak softly, voices carried by the gentle wind. The rhythm of morning in ancient Egypt is not hurried, not rushed. Each task has its moment, each sound its place in the day's quiet song. You might hear a faint tapping, a potter shaping clay, his hands wet, turning the wheel with care. Or the soft rustle of papyrus reeds as scribes prepare their scrolls in the distant town. The air begins to warm now, and the scent of wet earth rises as the sun touches the riverbanks. A heron takes flight, its wings moving slowly, gracefully, casting long shadows over the water. People bow their heads briefly toward the sun, a small act of thanks for its light, its warmth, its life. It is morning in ancient Egypt, and though thousands of years have passed, this rhythm, this peace feels eternal. As the light grows stronger, the villagers finish their meals, gather their tools, and step out toward their work. The day begins with the same calm purpose it has always known. And as the gentle hum of life fills the air, let us move quietly to another part of their world to see where they lived and how they shared their homes and families in the golden heart of ancient Egypt. As the sun climbs higher above the Nile, let us step softly into an Egyptian village. The morning light glows on the walls of mud, brick houses, and the soft rustle of palm trees moves through the warm air. Homes in ancient Egypt were simple, but full of care and warmth. Most were built from sun-dried bricks, earth mixed with straw, shaped by hand, then left to harden beneath the steady desert sun. The walls are thick and cool to the touch, keeping out the heat during the day and holding the night's coolness until dawn. Imagine walking along a narrow street. The houses stand close together, their walls smooth, painted in pale colors to reflect the light. A few homes have flat roofs, where families sleep under the stars or dry herbs, fruits, and fish. At night, these rooftops become quiet sanctuaries, places to rest, talk, and look up at the endless sky. Inside, the rooms are small, but tidy and peaceful. There are woven mats on the floor and jars lined neatly against the wall. The air smells faintly of bread and of oil lamps burning low. In one corner, a cat curls up, its tail wrapped softly around its body. Cats are welcome here. They protect grain stores from mice and are loved for their calm presence. A family gathers in the main room. The father, a craftsman, checks his tools for the day ahead. The mother kneels beside a clay oven, turning flat loaves with practiced hands. The children sit close by, listening to gentle words, learning the ways of their home and their world. In ancient Egypt, family meant everything. It was the center of life, a source of comfort, love, and belonging. Parents cared deeply for their children, and children honored their parents in return. Even the gods were imagined as families, with mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters, mirroring the human bonds that held each home together. Imagine for a moment sitting with them in the soft afternoon shade. The sound of the river drifts faintly in the distance. A child hums a song while shaping a little clay toy. An elder tells stories about the great kings and gods, his voice slow and steady as the warm air moves through the doorway. The home is not filled with wealth, but with something deeper, a sense of rhythm and peace. Every task, every gesture flows gently into the next. At midday, when the heat grows strong, the family rests indoors. The walls shelter them from the blazing light. A small jar of cool water stands nearby. The room is quiet except for the soft buzz of insects outside. Later, as the shadows lengthen, the family shares another simple meal. Perhaps lentils, onions, or figs, served with bread baked fresh from the morning's fire. Laughter fills the small room, soft, relaxed, and content. When night returns, they climb to the roof once again. The stars spread wide above them, and the cool air brushes against their faces. The sounds of the village fade into calm stillness. They rest together beneath the vast desert sky, safe, peaceful, and grateful. As you listen, you might feel that same stillness around you now, the quiet comfort of home, the gentle warmth of connection. As the night grows deeper in our story, let us wander a little further to discover what they ate and how the taste of their world filled each day with simple, nourishing calm. As the day unfolds along the Nile, a familiar scent drifts through the warm air, the smell of baking bread. It's a smell that has never truly left the world, one that still carries the same comfort, the same calm even now. In ancient Egypt, food was simple, but full of life. It came from the earth, from the river, from the steady hands of those who worked beneath the sun. Imagine stepping into a small courtyard behind a home. The ground is smooth and dusty. A clay oven stands nearby, shaped like a round pot with an opening at the top for bread. Beside it, a woman kneels, rolling small lumps of dough between her palms. Her movements are slow, practiced, almost like a quiet dance. She presses the dough flat and smooth, then lay it gently on the hot stone surface inside the oven. The air warms, and soon the bread begins to rise, its crust turning golden brown. The smell fills the space, soft, nutty, comforting. This bread, called ta, was the heart of every meal. It was eaten with lentils, beans, onions, or figs, sometimes dipped in oil or honey. sometimes shared with neighbors or workers in the fields. Nearby, another pot simmers over the coals. It's filled with vegetables, boiled gently with herbs from the garden, garlic, coriander, or cumin. The sound of the bubbling water and the crackle of firewood create a calm rhythm, like the earth breathing. Fish, too, was a gift from the Nile. Men cast their nets from small wooden boats, their movements slow and steady, mirrored on the river's surface. Later, the fish would be dried in the sun, or cooked fresh with salt and herbs. For those who lived well, scribes, officials, and priests, there were richer foods: goose and duck, dates and pomegranates, wine made from grapes grown in the delta. But even then, the meals were never hurried. Eating was an act of gratitude, a moment to pause, to breathe, to give thanks to the gods for the gifts of the land. Children helped by fetching water, carrying jars, or grinding grain with small stones. You can hear the sound of their laughter blending with the rhythm of work, gentle music that fills the air. Imagine sitting with a family as they eat. The sun hangs low in the sky, casting soft gold through the open doorway. They sit cross-legged on woven mats, no forks, just bread used to scoop and share. There's kindness in the way they pass food to one another, no rush, no noise, just the quiet joy of being together. Even in temples, priests offered food to the gods, loaves, fruits, wine, believing that the act of giving kept the world in balance. The offerings were later shared among the temple workers, so nothing went to waste. Food was more than survival in ancient Egypt. It was a daily reminder of life's rhythm, the turning of the seasons, the flooding of the Nile, the endless cycle of growth and rest. As the meal ends, the fire fades to glowing embers. Someone hums softly, a tune that floats into the still evening air, and the scent of warm bread lingers, fading slowly, like a memory that refuses to leave. Now, as the light softens over the river and the fields turn quiet once again, let us follow the people of Egypt beyond their homes and kitchens, out into their world of work and craft, where hands shaped stone and dreams rose high beneath the sun. As the day moves gently on, the village stirs with quiet purpose. Along the Nile, the rhythm of work begins soft, steady, and unhurried. Imagine walking down a narrow street. You hear the soft tap of a hammer against stone, the scratch of reed brushes across papyrus, and the distant laughter of children playing near the riverbank. Work in ancient Egypt was a part of life woven into the natural rhythm of the day. Everyone had a role, some more visible, some quieter, but each task mattered, each hand contributed. Farmers rise with the sun, their bare feet pressing against the soft earth. They carry tools, simple wooden hoes, sickles, baskets, and walk toward the fertile fields along the river. The Nile is their partner, its waters nourishing the land, its annual floods leaving behind rich soil, ready to grow grain, vegetables, and flax. They work slowly, deliberately, turning the soil, planting seeds, pulling weeds. The heat of the sun is strong, but the rhythm of labor is gentle, almost meditative. Sometimes a bird lands nearby, or a dragonfly glimmers over a puddle of water. The farmers pause, even for a moment, to watch the world move softly around them. Other villagers have different tasks. Craftsmen shape clay into pots and jars, their hands wet and skilled, turning each vessel with care. They carve wood and stone, creating tools, furniture, and statues. The sound of carving echoes quietly, a calm music of creation. Scribes, too, have important work. They sit in small shaded rooms, read pens in hand, writing symbols on papyrus. These symbols record taxes, trade, and messages, but they also tell stories of kings and gods, of families, of everyday life. Their work is slow, thoughtful, precise, like a soft current carrying knowledge forward. Merchants move quietly through the streets and markets, balancing scales and counting coins. They trade grains, linen, pottery, and oil, ensuring that goods reach every corner of the village. Even their voices, though they speak business, carry a gentle tone, soft and measured. Builders and laborers construct temples and homes. They lift stones with ropes and wooden levers, moving carefully in unison. It is hard work, yes, but done with focus, respect, and patience. Sometimes a song rises, Simple tunes to keep the steps in rhythm, to soothe the mind and body as the day wears on. Children often help in small ways. They carry water, sweep courtyards, or fetch small bundles of reeds. Each act, though tiny, supports the whole community. And while they work, they laugh softly, adding a lightness to the day. Work was not separate from life in ancient Egypt. It was a gentle cycle, a way to honor the earth, the river, and the gods. Every action was a small prayer, a contribution to the flow of daily life. Imagine standing quietly on a bridge over the Nile, watching boats glide along the shimmering water. Some carry reeds for weaving mats, others carry grain to distant towns. All move slowly, calmly, like the heartbeat of Egypt itself. As the sun begins to tilt westward, people finish their labor. Hands are worn but steady. My eyes are tired but content. And as the workday fades, there is a shared calm, a gentle pause before the evening rituals, the meals, the stories, and the night. And now, as the village settles, let us follow them a little higher, into the sacred spaces where they connect with the divine, to temples, shrines, and the quiet places of prayer. As the sun tilts gently toward the horizon, the villagers turn their thoughts softly to the divine. In ancient Egypt, the gods were everywhere. In the river, the fields, the sky above, and in the quiet corners of every home. Imagine walking through a small village temple. The air is cool, even as the sun warms the streets outside. Incense drifts lazily through the open doors, its sweet, soft scent mingling with the warm stone walls. A faint flicker of light glows from oil lamps, casting gentle shadows that dance across carved reliefs. Priests move quietly. Their steps are slow and deliberate. They chant soft words, almost like whispers, offering thanks for the sun, the Nile, and the harvest. Even the act of washing hands and arranging offerings is done with care and a calm respect. The people of the village sometimes visit the temple, bringing small gifts of bread, fruit, or flowers. They bow their heads, sometimes with a quiet prayer, sometimes just in silent gratitude. Children watch curiously, learning the gestures and the songs of their ancestors. Every god has a purpose, a gentle presence in life. Ra, the sun god, rises each morning to chase away the darkness. Osiris, guardian of the afterlife, watches over those who have passed. Isis, the nurturing mother, protects families and children. Even the small household gods have their place in keeping homes safe and peaceful. Imagine a day in the life of a priest. He begins before sunrise, lighting small fires, washing sacred vessels, and preparing offerings for the gods. His voice rises softly in chants, echoing through stone halls that have stood for centuries. Each word, each gesture, carries a sense of calm reverence, a reminder that life itself is a gift. On special days, the village gathers outside the temple. Processions move slowly through the streets, carrying statues of gods upon wooden platforms. Music plays gently, drums, flutes, and soft strings, and children follow with small lanterns. No rush, no chaos, just a slow, rhythmic flow that mirrors the calm pace of life along the Nile. Even in the afterlife, religion brought comfort. Ancient Egyptians believed that life continued beyond the river of death, that the soul would journey gently to a peaceful place, surrounded by family, friends, and familiar comforts. This belief made every day meaningful, every small act of kindness or work a quiet prayer that echoed into eternity. Imagine standing outside the temple as the sun dips lower, its last rays reflecting off the river. The village grows quiet. A soft breeze moves through the palms. The smell of incense lingers, and you feel the gentle rhythm of devotion, steady and calm, like the heartbeat of Egypt itself. As night begins to settle, let us move from the sacred to the everyday, to the clothes they wore, the colors, textures, and simple elegance that defined life in this sunlit land. As the evening light softens over the Nile, let us take a slow walk through the streets and homes, noticing the way people dress and the care they take in their appearance. In ancient Egypt, clothing was simple, light, and suited to the warm, golden sun. Men often wore short skirts made from linen, wrapped and tied around their waists. Women wore long, flowing dresses, sometimes pleated, sometimes plain, always soft and comfortable, allowing the skin to breathe under the heat of the day. Imagine the feel of the fabric, smooth, cool, almost weightless, moving gently with each step. Children often wore little more than a simple cloth. Their tiny bodies are free to run and play along the river banks. Linen was the main material, woven carefully from flax plants grown along the Nile. It came in natural shades, soft cream, pale gold, but sometimes the wealthier families added colors, dyed from plants, flowers, or minerals. Even then, the colors were gentle, never harsh or loud. The jewelry was small but meaningful. A simple necklace, a bracelet, or a ring could indicate family status or protection. Amulets were worn to keep the wearer safe, tiny charms shaped like scarabs' eyes or small animals. Imagine a child's small hand tracing the smooth surface of an amulet, feeling its shape, knowing it is there to watch over them. Both men and women took care of their hair. Some shaved their heads to keep cool, especially during hot days along the river. Others wore wigs made of plant fibers or human hair, soft and carefully styled. A gentle scent of oils and resins would linger, soothing the senses and leaving a faint warmth on the skin. Cosmetics were also common. They used dark kohl to line the eyes, protecting them from the bright sun and the soft dust of the desert. Oils and balms kept the skin smooth and healthy, and the gentle application of these care rituals became a quiet moment in the day, a meditation of touch and reflection. Footwear was simple, sandals made of woven reeds or leather. Sometimes people walked barefoot, feeling the soft earth or smooth river stones under their feet, grounded, connected to the land. Imagine walking beside them now. You notice the soft rustle of cloth as people move, the shimmer of a bracelet catching sunlight, the gentle aroma of scented oils. Every small detail brings calm and rhythm to daily life, making even the act of dressing a soothing, mindful practice. Appearance in ancient Egypt was not about vanity. It was about comfort, respect, and balance. A way to live harmoniously with the sun, the land, and the river. A way to honor family, community, and the gods. As night approaches and the colors of the sky deepen into soft purples and golds, the villagers begin to gather for music, laughter, and stories. Evening is a gentle time to rest, to share, and to be present. Let us move with them now to the softer pleasures of the day. Music, dance, and entertainment, the quiet joys that made life by the Nile gentle and bright. As the day grows softer and the sun begins its slow descent, the villagers pause from their work, and life takes on a gentler rhythm. This is the time for music, for stories, and the small joys that fill the heart with quiet contentment. Imagine a courtyard filled with the warm glow of late afternoon. A family gathers, sitting on woven mats. Children laugh softly as they chase each other, their tiny feet barely making a sound on the soft earth. A musician sits nearby, a small harp resting on their knees. Their fingers move slowly, gently plucking each string. The sound rises soft and delicate, filling the air with a calm, rippling melody. Sometimes a flute joins in, its notes drifting like a breeze across the fields, carrying warmth and peace along the river. Dancing is part of these moments too. It is simple, graceful, and unhurried. A few steps, a turn, a gentle sway, often guided by the rhythm of the music. Even the youngest children move carefully, learning the patterns, their movements becoming part of the quiet song of life. Storytelling is another treasured pleasure. Elders tell tales of gods and kings, of heroes and gentle miracles. Their voices are low and soothing. Each story unfolds slowly, with pauses to let the imagination wander, to let the mind drift into the images of ancient times. Imagine sitting in that courtyard, the smell of bread still lingering in the air, the sound of a soft harp, the distant lap of the river against its banks, and the warmth of family around you. Evening shadows grow long, stretching lazily across walls and rooftops. Games, too, bring calm delight. Children play with small clay figures, rolling dice, moving pieces across simple boards, laughing quietly at small victories, learning patience and joy in gentle ways. Music and entertainment in ancient Egypt were never rushed. They were a rhythm of life, a way to connect, to teach, and to relax. Even the gods were believed to enjoy music, and songs were offered in temples as a form of devotion, calm and reverent. As the sky deepens to soft purples and oranges, villagers begin to prepare for evening meals. The harpist's song fades into gentle silence, the children's laughter softens, and the courtyard grows calm. Imagine the Nile at this hour, reflecting the fading colors of the sun, while a cool breeze moves slowly through the palm trees. The world feels suspended, peaceful, as if time itself has slowed to match the rhythm of life in ancient Egypt. And now, as the stars begin to appear above the river, let us follow the villagers one last time today to the stillness of night, to see how they rest, dream, and prepare for tomorrow, as the gentle cycle of life continues beside the Nile. As the sun slips gently behind the distant hills, the sky turns soft shades of pink, lavender, and deepening blue. A quiet settles over the village and the river, as if the land itself is taking a slow, deep breath. Imagine standing on the riverbank, watching the water reflect the last glow of sunlight. The Nile moves steadily, its surface smooth and calm, carrying the echoes of the day, the laughter of children, the soft songs of musicians, the quiet rhythm of work completed. The villagers prepare for the evening in gentle, unhurried ways. Fires glow softly in courtyards, sending warm light across walls and rooftops. Families gather around simple meals, sharing stories of the day and soft laughter. The children, tired from their small adventures, curl up on mats or rooftops, watching the first stars appear in the sky. Evening prayers rise in quiet tones. A family might offer bread or fruit to their household gods, or whisper thanks for the sun and the river, for the protection of the gods and the safety of loved ones. It is a calm ritual, a slow reflection on the blessings of life. Night brings gentle sounds. The soft flap of a bird's wings, the distant croak of a frog by the river, the rustle of palm leaves in a warm breeze. Each sound is small, but it fills the night with life, a reminder that the world is alive even in stillness. Some villagers climb to their rooftops, lying beneath the wide, endless sky. The stars shine clearly, mirrored faintly in the smooth surface of the Nile. They rest in peace, listening to the river and the whisper of night. The air cools gently against their skin, and sleep comes softly like a calm river flowing. Even the temples take on a quiet dignity at night. Torches flicker softly, casting long, gentle shadows across stone walls. The gods are present, silent and watchful. Their guardianship is a calm, constant presence. Imagine yourself in this village tonight. The warmth of the day fades into a gentle coolness. The sky is vast and calm, the stars watching over the river and the homes. You can hear the distant song of the water and feel the slow, peaceful heartbeat of life in ancient Egypt. As the night deepens, the villagers sleep under the watchful sky. The river glides silently past, the earth rests, and the cycle of life waits patiently for the next day. And as you rest here with them, let us slowly draw our journey to a gentle close, reflecting on all that we have seen, all the quiet wonders of daily life along the Nile, and preparing for a calm, peaceful good night. As the night wraps the Nile and the village in quiet shadows, we pause together and reflect on the day we have wandered through. We have seen the sun rise over golden fields, felt the cool, soft walls of mud brick homes, heard the gentle songs of the river, and followed families, children, and craftsmen through the peaceful rhythm of their lives. We have walked slowly through the markets, sat beside fires where bread was baked, and listened to the soft laughter of music and stories. We have glimpsed the sacred temples, watched priests move with care, and felt the calm presence of the gods in every act of devotion. Imagine now the stars above, scattered across the sky like tiny, quiet flames. The river reflects them softly, its waters gliding silently beneath the moon. The palm trees sway gently in the cool night breeze, and even the smallest creatures move with care, leaving the world calm, steady, and at peace. Life in ancient Egypt was never hurried. It was a gentle balance of work, rest, love, and faith. Every day began with the sun. Every night closed with gratitude. Even in its simplicity, or perhaps because of it, their lives held a quiet richness, a steady rhythm that carried the heart and mind with ease. Now, as you rest here, with the echoes of their daily life flowing softly around you, let your own breath slow, let your body relax, and imagine yourself lying on a mat beneath the open sky, watching the stars and listening to the river. You are part of this calm, part of the quiet rhythm of life that stretches across time. The farmers, the children, the musicians, the priests, the families, all rest beside you in spirit, and all the small joys of their world settle gently into your mind. As you drift towards sleep, carry with you the peacefulness of the Nile, the warm glow of the sun, the soft songs and laughter of a gentle world long ago. Let it fill you with calm, let it fill you with quiet curiosity, and let it guide you slowly into a restful night. Good night, my friend. May your dreams flow softly like the river, peaceful and endless, and may the calm of ancient Egypt rest with you until morning.